guys, my name is Grace and this is Resa, and today we're going to show you 2 tricks: how to teach your dog to open a door using a rope and how to teach your dog to close a door with their paw. Now for this one you are going to need a rope. I used just paracord and I braided it into like a handle that the dog could more easily grasp, and then I tied it around my doorknob. Now this trick will work if you tie a rope to either a turn doorknob or a pull down doorknob. However, with a turn knob, the door cannot be locked and latched in place, or your dog will not be able to pull it open. Well, my door doesn't always work, but so you just need to make sure with a round doorknob that your door is slightly open, like not latched, so that your dog can easily pull it. Good girl. Alright, so let's get started. Alright, so the first step to teaching your dog how to open a door is with the rope. You want to get them excited about the rope. Now, if you need to, you can play with the rope without it attached to the doorknob, or you can get your dog excited about the rope. Get it. Good girl, get it. And the second they get it, you reward. Ready? Get it. Yes, good girl. Ready? Get it. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Ready? Get it. Yes, good girl. Good girl. Now you want your dog, once you've tied the rope to your doorknob, you want your dog to realize that playing with the rope and pulling on it actually makes a tug toy. Now, you have to be careful though to make sure you reward your dog before they pull the door too fast or before they tug too hard, because you don't want your dog turning this into when I'm bored I'm going to go play with the door and break it off its hinges. You want the dog to know that when I give the command, then you can go pull the rope. So ready? Ready? Get it. Yes, good girl. Get it. Good. So once your dog is getting the rope when you're holding it and it's attached to the doorknob, then wait, out. Good. Sit. Then you're going to leave it so that you're not holding it out in the air. You're going to hold it right here, and my door is not staying closed. And then you're going to use your finger and try to get them excited. Ready? Get it, girl. Get it. Yes, good girl. And the second they just slightly grab it, even if they don't hold it in their mouth, yes, good girl. Good girl. You're going to reward them. Now, sometimes your dog will grab it once it's on the door like this. They'll grab it, but they'll immediately drop it, or they just won't really hold it. So that's where you may have to go back a step and get them excited about holding it and tugging on it, or you just may need to give them extra praise and work on building up the duration. Alright, so once your dog, you can point at it. Get it? Yes, good girl. And your dog is getting it. Over here. Good. Wait. Sit. Good. What you're going to do now is you're going to start to introduce the verbal cue. So I use the verbal cue open door. However, it's more the open that kind of gives the cue, and then closed door. The door kind of tells me with the pointing, tells the dog that this is what I want you to open or close. But the open and then the word close helps differentiate between pulling on the rope and pushing on the door with their paw. So, ready? Open, door. Oops, you look. Yes, good. Out. Good girl. Good girl. Ready? Open door. Yes, good girl. And once your dog is really pulling here, you're going to definitely reward. I'm not letting it wait. Out. Good. I'm not letting the door open too far just so that you guys can see everything. But ready? Open door. Yes, good girl. Here. Good girl. Wait. Sit. So Resa loves this trick. She gets really excited. So if your dog is getting overexcited and pulling ridiculously hard on the rope, you may need to go and do something else a little bit more calming, like maybe sit and downs and stays just to calm their mind back down. So that's why I had like Resa sit, and that's why I'm like talking and making her calm down a little bit. And then I'll go back and ask her again. Now if your dog gets all hyper again, then I would say maybe set this trick aside for today, and when you come back to it the next day or whatever, maybe go throw a ball for your dog to wear them out just a little bit. You don't want them fully worn out that they get frustrated easily, but if you wear them out just a little bit, then that helps them be in maybe a little bit more of a calmer state. So go ahead, ready, open door. Yes, there we go. See how much calmer that was? Sit. Good girl. Good. Oops. Right down. Good. Alright, so once your dog is with the verbal cue and the pointing, when you're this close to the door, they're opening the door, then you need to start moving your body farther and farther away. So in the next few clips, I'm going to show you with myself being behind the camera, and then I'm going to send her to go open the door. Now, something you will notice is that if she pulls too hard, I will try to, sometimes with Resa, when she pulls it, she swings it so the door actually closes on itself again. So I'm going to, in order to help work her through that, I'm going to reward and interrupt her when she's only halfway through pulling, because then the motion of the door will open the door the rest of the way. Alright, so let's show you this next step. Good. Ready? Open door. No, open door. Yes, good girl. Open door. Yes, good girl. Open door. Yes, come. Good. Yes. Good girl. Yes! Good girl! Good girl! Ready? Open door! Yes! Good girl! Good girl! Ready? Alright, so that's how you teach your dog to open a door using a rope. So I hope that this part was helpful. Now you're going to teach your dog how to close a door. Now for close a door, well, depending on which one you teach first, you don't want to teach the second version. So if you teach them open a door, you don't want to teach them close a door right after they've mastered open door, because that can confuse them sometimes, because the tasks are so similar that sometimes your dogs get confused when they're still just learning the first one. So I would say in between the two tricks, go learn a new trick. Maybe take a week break from doing open door before you start closed door. Whatever's best for your dog. So then, after you've figured that out, you can move on to closed door. Now with closed door, I used a hand cue, so shake. Good. That's what I did, and I put my hand on the wall to teach her to paw at it, kind of like how you teach your dog how to wave. I did almost the exact same thing, but kept my hand on the door, and then I rewarded when she pushed on the door and the door started to close. Alright, so let's get started on the first. Alright, so the first step is to make sure your door is only like a couple inches open. You don't want your door to be all the way open, because it's going to be harder for your dog to paw. So then what you're going to do, and in this case you may have to remove the rope so that your dog doesn't try to do the rope command, or teach your dog on a different door, and then start to move around to other doors as once your dog has mastered. So what you're going to do, right here, shake. Yes, good girl. And your dog's going to try to touch your hand. Now, good. Yes, good girl. Now, because Resa already knows this, she's going to immediately try to close the door. But you're going to put your hand. Yes, good girl. Good. Yes, good girl. And the second she targets my hand, I'm going to reward. Yes, good girl. And when she's moving on it, your hand will kind of like press against the door. Yes, good girl. And then the door will move. So then, what you're gonna do, once your dog is understanding how to paw your hand, yes, good girl, while it's along the door, then you're gonna start introducing the verbal cue, because once your dog understands the verbal cue, then you'll phase out the hand cue and your dog will start doing it just on the door. So, I'm gonna open this a little bit. Closed door, good girl. Closed door, good girl. Closed door, yes, good girl. Good girl. Yes, good girl. Closed door. Yes, good girl. Good girl. So once your dog understands the verbal cue, then you're going to start just tapping the door. I've learned with Resa that you can't just totally remove your hand and say the verbal cue. You're going to have to tap on the door. Yes, good girl. In order for your dog to understand still to paw. So you're going to, Resa, close door. No. Yes, good girl. And the second they even lift their paw, even if they don't touch the door, if they just lift their paw, you're going to reward. Ready? Close door. Yes, good girl. Good girl. If your dog knows how to do dig on command, you could also teach them to close door using a dig cue, because when you're closing a door, it's kind of like your dog's digging at the door. Good. Now, if your dog, nope, like what Resa's doing right now, nope, sit. If your dog constantly is doing it, digging at the door, then you probably should take a break from it. And if your dog just starts doing it around the house randomly, like if they want outside, if they want into our room for a toy, if they want into the treat bag, which they know is in the living room, but there's a door blocking them, then you probably need to take a step back and you need to work on your dog understanding when to do a trick and when not to do a trick. I'm not going to cover that in this video, but that is something to keep in mind. And if your dog already has a digging problem, I would recommend not teaching them in this way. I would recommend teaching your dog to close a door using their nose, because that's just using their nose. They can't dig at anything with their nose. So this is just how I taught Resa, because Resa doesn't have a digging problem, and she, most of the time, unless she gets excited like she did, she won't do the tricks like digging unless I give her a verbal cue. Alright, so let's go on to the next step. Alright, so the next step is starting to phase out the tapping. So ready? Resa, close door. Up. Good, close door. Yes, good girl. Close door. Nope. Yes, good girl. Close door. Yeah, good girl. Good girl. Good. Once your dog is understanding how to do that without your tapping, then you need to open the door more. So ready, back? Good. So right here. Resa, close door. Yes. Good. Yes, good girl. Now, your dog will probably have to problem solve how to paw a door when their paw, like they're facing right here. So Resa, close door. She's got to figure out how to brush her paw. Good, close door. So then she can just do that. So now the last and final step is for you to step away from where the door is and tell your dog to close the door. So for this one, I'll be behind the camera again, like for open door, and then I'll instruct her to close the door. All right. Yep. Close door. Good. Good. Yes, good girl. Good. Close door. Yes. Yes. Close door. All the way. Close. Close door. Yes, good girl. Good. Close door. Good. Yes, good girl. Well, that's a wrap for this tutorial. I hope that you enjoyed it and that it was helpful. If you have any questions or recommendations for future videos, please put them in the comments, email me, or DM me on Instagram. And I hope that just you enjoy training with your dog, and these 2 tricks become a great way to grow your bond with your dog. Have a blessed day, and remember to have fun training. Bye!